Hello, welcome to MCFC Connect. I hope you're doing good. Thank you if you're tuning in, and thank you if you're watching this back on a replay. But either way, thank you for watching this video. And today we're talking about, well, it's pretty clear, City's February month. It's going to be a big month for City, as you can imagine, as there's any month, to be honest. But some reasons for this month, especially. And there's not many people I'd rather do it with than my good old pal. Oh wait, sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to bring that up. That's not my pal. My good old pal. Oh, I've added him to the stage. Hold on. Oh man, I'm making a mess of this. MCFC TV. MCFR TV, sorry.
Yes. I know the mic won't be perfect, but is it okay?
Sounds good on my end.
Oh, it looks like it says it's a bit quiet. Is it okay? It says it's a bit quiet.
I think it might be a little quiet.
I'll see if I can. Bit louder now. Bit too loud.
No, I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks for having me on the channel. Yeah. Thanks for having me on the channel. Going to be good and excited to preview big month in February.
Yes. Yeah, like you said, big month. For City, the return of the Champions League, FA Cup coming in the back end, and of course Premier League games in between. And we're going to discuss all of it. That's the stage. There you go. There's a run of our February games. You can see the beginning of March. We have 7 different fixtures that we will all be able to watch. I wonder which ones I could do watch-alongs on all of these and actually be able to watch the game. Isn't that brilliant? But yeah, we'll start with Brentford, of course. I've already done a preview on this game, so I know you've watched that, MCFR, and I know you're doing your own preview. I think it's 11. Was it 11 today or tomorrow? I can't remember.
Today, I think. Yeah.
So we won't talk about this game too much because obviously one of the few a bit to talk about. But we'll mention. Of course, Ivan Toney is back with Brentford and is going to be a threat. So, well, what's your thoughts on that? How do you think City will have to play on him?
Yeah, of course, Ivan Toney's going to be hungry. He's going to be desired. He's going to be motivated when coming back after being out for so long. I know he's had a few games back, but this is his first real test against City. Of course, he's going to be even more motivated. So, and I remember at the Etihad last season, he absolutely destroyed us. And I think it's the first time he's played us since then. So he's going to want to play well against us again. It's going to be tricky. And this game's going to be tricky. We've got to defend well. We've got to defend like we did against Tottenham, in my opinion. But yeah, the defense is crucial. If we concede a few goals this game, I don't think we'll score many against Brentford. That's the thing. I see it being a tight 1-0 or something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can't see there being more than, at the very most, there won't be any more than 3 goals. And when I say that, I'm thinking Brentford getting 1 and City getting 2. If I say that, one of the games where there were 3 goals against us last season, it was the one they won, and they beat us twice last season. Ivan Toney, I'm pretty sure, got a brace at the Etihad on us, and what a way to basically say you should have called me up, because the England squad just got announced, he wasn't in there, and then he gets a brace against the front runners of the league. So it's an interesting one. Ivan Toney's back. Came back with a bang with that free kick, of course. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. This game, they are 15th, so they are struggling. But I wouldn't, with Ivan Toney back and anyone else they've got, and I think Thomas Frank is a decent manager too. So definitely a force to be reckoned with, Brentford. I would have to agree with you that that it's going to be low scoring. My prediction was 1-0 in my preview. What about your prediction?
My prediction, do you remember the Leicester away game? I think it was October 2022. It
Yeah,
was KDV free kick and we won narrowly 1-0. Actually going exactly the same, similar scenario. KDB to score free kick, a tight 1-0 away win at the Brentford Stadium. Will be good to finally get a win against them because I think the last time we got a win against them, I think it was like 2 years ago now. So we are due one, and hopefully let's just say we can break another curse. We've not won against Brentford in 2 games, so let's call that a mini curse. Let's break it. I'm predicting a 1-0 when I see Alec Johnson there in the chat predicting 3-1. That also could happen, but I'm going for a bit more low scoring like you.
all right, good stuff. Yeah, like you say, it's going to be a difficult one, and this won't be the only time that we play them this month. A bit of a spoiler for you. But yeah, it's going to be tough, but hopefully we can make this year a habit of breaking curses. Obviously, the Tottenham one was a bit bigger than this Brentford one, not beating them since, 2 seasons ago. Last time we beat them was the season that Mane was still at Liverpool. So now then, we jump on to Man City vs Everton. We struggled against them at Goodison Park to begin, but second half we looked a lot better. Phil Foden scored a wonderful goal, as did Bernardo. It was also the game that I couldn't complete my watch along on because of bad weather. That was terrible. But pretty sure I ended up being a tornado you said near you. So pretty crazy the reverse fixture of this in terms of what was going on around the game. But it's at the Etihad. It's 12:30 kickoff. I know some people don't like 12:30 kickoff. But what are your thoughts going into 12:30 kickoff?
Yeah, like I said, let's hope for no more tornadoes or no more weird weather events. Imagine there's an earthquake this time or something. Imagine that. But yeah, let's hope for none of that. Let's hope for a smooth game where the game can take place and your full watch along can take place as well. So let's hope for that, first of all. But my thoughts on the actual game, I think it's going to be tighter than people think. I don't think this will be a walkover, but I do think we'll win. It's looking there 79% win chance. I'd say that's around right, to be honest, for once. But yeah, like I said, hopefully we can. I want this to be comfortable, and maybe we can get comfortable and be 3-0, and we can bring off some players and rest some players. That's one thing that I'd hope. Looking there, Everton 18th in the league. What's going to be interesting, as I know it is 7 days away, but then point deductions could come at any point. So if them point deductions come, that could just give them a real. I know these charges have kicked them on a bit, but if they have another set, I think that would be. I think that would, like, if we woke up tomorrow and Man City have been charged another 100 times, that's not going to motivate us. And it's the same with Everton being charged another 10 times. I think that would just really demotivate them. So, and let's just go that they've not been charged yet. I think we win this game 2-0, a Haaland brace.
My prediction is quite literally the same, a 2-0. Like you say, I think the point deductions and charges, it's a weird one because I think when you initially get charged, me and my dad spoke about this when City initially got charged back whenever it was. I think, wasn't it February last year we had initial charges? I can't remember. It doesn't really matter, but I remember my dad saying, that we just think that this will spur on the team to go do something special to annoy the Premier League and something like that. And boy, oh boy, did we do something special. We did a treble. And in my opinion, a better treble than the 99 one because United could have stopped it. United could have stopped us, United were probably playing the best that they had played for a very long time. Ten Hag last season seemed to be doing a good job. This season it's been a bumpier road, but nonetheless, United could have stopped that, and I think that it was the best treble because of it. But I mean, it'll go and start to opinion, I suppose. But like you say, I think an initial points deduction for Everton, the first one they got, I think that just means I reckon Sean Dyche just sat them down and said, let's just spur on now. Let's charge ahead and just prove everyone wrong, beat the odds essentially, and stay up. But they get charged again. It's just going to be like all that effort for nothing. So it's a weird one. Forest, the relegation battle could be really crazy because Forest, you can't forget them. They spent crazy amounts of money and are about to face the punishments for it. So they could also be jumping in the same boat as Everton before we know it. But Forest is another discussion for another day. But yeah, it's going to be. I don't think it'll be easy on Everton, but I think once we get the first goal in, I think we'll dominate. Dominate in terms of the ball, but I'm still going to predict a 2-0. Hopefully, we can just get the win. Yusuf, welcome to the chat. Everton and Tottenham drew. Okay, drew with Everton. Funnily enough, the game we're speaking about. Good result for City, I guess. You guys are now 2 points behind us, and we've got 2 games in hand on you. So good stuff. But yeah, Man City vs Everton. It'll be tricky, but I think we got the tools. Luton game a cracker. Kind of wish I watched it. No one would have predicted that was going to end up 4-4. St James's Park. You'd think that would be like just the walk in the park. What was your thoughts on that, MCFR? 4-4. I didn't watch it. Did you?
Well, unfortunately, of course, it had to be the second 4-4 game of the season. A 3 p.m. kickoff. That's great. I wish it was the 5:30 kickoff. But thoughts on that, and I looked at half time and thought 2-2. I was like, wow, 2-2. That for Luton at St James's Park. That's big. Then I looked in. I think it was around the 60th minute, and it said 4-4. I was like, wow, this game could be like 6-6 or something. Has 6-6 ever happened in like the back? Well, the modern day Premier League before? I swear it hasn't. So yeah, it was just absolutely crazy. Luton, I think they'll survive with the point deductions and stuff around. I generally think Luton will survive. They're doing well. Beat Brighton 4-0. A point at St James's Park is huge. It's absolutely massive. I also like to say Eddie Howe. They're so inconsistent, Newcastle. I wouldn't be surprised if he's replaced at the end of the season as well. I know that is a massive statement to make, but I genuinely won't be surprised if he's replaced with someone who's a proven winner at the end of the season.
Yeah, Eddie Howe. It's a weird one. I like Eddie Howe, but Newcastle probably got to think to themselves. Look, I think most people like Eddie Howe. I think most people probably think Eddie Howe's a nice guy. Seems a nice guy, and he's certainly not a bad manager. I wouldn't be surprised if he does lose the Newcastle job and then goes and gets the England job. Because boy, oh boy, if Southgate survives any longer, I'm not even an England fan, so I'm kind of all for it. But looking at it, if I was an England fan, if the longer Southgate stays, the less success chances that England have. But we'll talk about England and all that when the Euros comes around, because like I've said a couple of times on this channel, we are going to cover that. So I wouldn't wait a good time to get some content going. Now then, Champions League return, Copenhagen vs Man City. An interesting one. They knocked out the team on the other side of Manchester, but will they knock out the blue side of Manchester? What are your thoughts going into this one, so far?
Oh, sorry, just trying to get my mic unmuted there. My thoughts are, I think that for the first leg, I generally think in this game could be a draw. Every game last season in the away leg we drew. I think we only won it away once in the Champions League last season, and yet we won it, so it worked. So we'll take that. Yeah, we're not comparing to United anymore. We're just clear of them at the moment. I don't think Copenhagen are that good. Quite frankly, they were in a group with one good team. How the hell United came fourth with Galatasaray and Copenhagen in their group is just insane. That shows how bad they are. But their fans, somehow, they all seem to love Ten Hag because he's got the best win rate. Well, that best win rate isn't clearly doing very well for them because they're 8th in the league and out the Champions League. So it clearly doesn't do that well. But back onto the topic, sorry. I think this game, I generally see it being like last season. I think we'll get to the final again. And I think it'll be like more away draws. And I think this one will be a away draw. I think it'll be a bit entertaining though. I'm going for a 2-2 and a comeback. I'm going to go for a comeback as well. 84th minute winner, let's be precise. Got to be Haaland, hasn't it?
Oh, I'm liking these predictions. They're interesting, but yeah, Copenhagen. Congratulations to them progressing, because that obviously Bayern Munich are going to top that group. I don't think anyone thought for a moment, even if United were impressing last season, I don't think anyone thought they were that good to get past Bayern. But you would have certainly thought they were good enough to at least beat Copenhagen and Galatasaray. At least beat them at home. They didn't even do that. Well, I'm pretty sure oh wait, did they beat Copenhagen? Oh, it doesn't matter because they're out of Champions League and we don't need to worry about them. They're not even in Europe, and they might not even progress through Europe. But it's interesting with Copenhagen. Obviously, I think City can get through. On drawing and all that, I mean, it's not a bad way to do it. Draw the difficult game, and then when you've got your home fans behind you, and all that, to then go and get the game done. We were relatively fortunate last season to play Real Madrid at the Bernabeu first. I think that's the best way to do it. Get the tough one out of the way and see which situation is. And Bernabeu, because if we beat, you saw it 2 years ago. Okay, we played Real Madrid at the Etihad first leg, beat them 4-3. It was difficult, but we got over the line. But then, the moment Real Madrid get a goal back at the Bernabeu, they could probably go all the way, which they proved against us last season. I hate going back to that game, but it's true. I think Bernabeu second leg is a bad fate for most teams. Got Alec Johnson. By the way, Alec Johnson, Yusuf, I don't think I thanked you for being in chat yet, so big up to both of you. City getting juggernaut gears ready for more trophies. Yes, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully we should be progressing through the Champions League. I don't think Copenhagen are an incredible team, but fair play for making it this far. Now then, on to Chelsea, which I think provided the game of the season so far. I know Newcastle and Luton just had a similar game, but I just think this one was incredible. In terms of entertainment, not for City, of course, conceding like the 5th-minute penalty to a former player as well. That was shocking. But this time we're at the Etihad. We'll be feeling good. Hopefully we've extended our winning run to 11 games, and hopefully we can make this one 12. It's probably the biggest game of the month in terms of the team we're playing. And what are your thoughts going into MCFR?
Well, this season, we've not really had too many. Well, at least once a season, we get one big team thrashing another big team. And I think you might be knowing where I'm going with this. I just said in the chat, wait till you see my prediction for this game. My prediction for this game, a replica, Man City 6-0 Chelsea. And that is wild. It's absolute wild. But I can explain. Chelsea, they're poor. They're just really poor. And looking what Liverpool did to them the other night, I think they can't finish as well, Chelsea. They had one game this season where they could finish. That was against us. Please tell me it doesn't happen again. And with it being at the Etihad, their players have a weak mentality. I don't think they can handle it. Do you know what? Sorry, what's the kickoff time again?
Kickoff time, score that, 5:30.
Oh, well, if it was a 12:30, I would be a bit sketchy about the atmosphere because for some weird reason, always 12:30 games aren't as good. But 5:30 on a Saturday, that's a good time. So that'd be great. I think the atmosphere will be good. I genuinely think 6-0? I genuinely do. I think Haaland scores 4, Bernardo Silva gets 1, and Doku gets 1 as well. I just think we thumped them. I genuinely do, and I think they're there for the taking. But I can also see us being 3-0 up at half-time We put all our second team players on, and then we end up winning about 3-1 or 3-2 when it could have been a thrashing. But please, for once, City, for once, Pep, let's just go for it. And for once, destroy a team that's there for the taking. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I'd look at Chelsea away from home against top sides, 4-1 against Liverpool. That game, I know Chelsea they did get robbed of the penalty when the game was 3-1. And, people could say what they want. If they score that penalty, then the game really changes. And, they're not wrong. But they didn't deserve to win that game by a long way away. And it shows. They beat Luton away from home, but come on, Chelsea should be beating Luton. Most teams should be. They lost to Wolves away from home, lost to Everton away from home, lost to Man United away from home, battered by Newcastle away from home. Beat Tottenham. That was a crazy game. That one of the best watch-alongs we've done for sure. Beat Burnley. Beat Fulham. It seems like earlier days, form wasn't too bad, and it doesn't go further than that. Let's go on to the beginning of the season there. But away from home, they're not the best. Stamford Bridge is definitely where they prefer to be, but they won't be there. They'll be at our backyard, and I think we should be beating them. I've never thought Mauricio Pochettino is a fantastic manager. I think he is solid. I think he can do a job for a bit. For me, he would be a solid manager at a team that pushes for Europe, but you're never quite sure. I think he would do a team decent, like a Villa. He would never do as good of a job like Emery has, but because Emery's performed miracles this season, it's incredible that they've gone this far. And fair play to him, he's fantastic. But that's the kind of team I think he is. I think he can push for Europa League football and, on the occasion, maybe get Champions League football. But Chelsea is proven to be a task for him. But I think it would any manager, to be honest. They're a crazy club at the moment, Chelsea, and I'm so curious to how that's going to go. KDB always cooks Chelsea. Yeah, always likes a game against Chelsea. Palmer nightmare coming. Yeah, he's coming to a former home of his. Chelsea look lost, no identity. Yeah, they got. Can you name me a start? Can you name me a regular starting 11 for Chelsea? Because I can name you one for Liverpool. Alisson in goal, right back Trent, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, midfield of McAllister, Szoboszlai, and usually Curtis Jones, I actually think. Front three, Salah, Diaz, Jota. You could not name... Oh, wait. Conor Gallagher would probably get into the Chelsea team. He's probably one of the best players this season. But you can't... There is no identity at Chelsea at the moment. And I don't think there will be for a while. Can't name Chelsea lineup, it don't exist. Yeah, because it changes every week. It does. But forget Chelsea. We will move on from Chelsea. You give your prediction, I'll give mine. I'm feeling good about the Chelsea game. I'm going to go just a dominant 3-0. Absolute dominant 3-0. If we just... They didn't have a chance from minute one kind of game. Now then, we go on to Man City vs Brentford again at the Etihad this time. Obviously, not a game to be snared at because we got beat at the Etihad last time against Brentford. We were going for a not brilliant patch of form, but hopefully we will be going good when we come around to this time. What are you thinking, MCFR?
This one's a dead tricky one, because I do remember the Brentford game last time. We weren't actually in the worst form. We actually just came off beating Fulham. The last time at the Etihad, we came off beating Fulham 2-1 at Haaland 97th minute penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think we won the game before that as well. I think that was the Leicester one away. So yeah, it's a tricky one, you know. I do want to be confident. I think this is, I don't know, with Ivan Toney. If Ivan Toney was still suspended, I'd just simply say 3-4, 5-0. I don't know. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, and it will be a tense one because Brentford are going to score in the 87th minute to make it a tense finish. But yeah, we'll get the 3 points, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I do see this being difficult. You know, Brentford, I don't think they're going to make it easy for any team. But yeah, I do feel like Brentford will test us. Yeah, I'm actually looking at our form here from last season. We lost against them 12th of November. And before that, we had won 4 games in a row, drew against Dortmund, and then it's another win against Brighton, and then the loss against Liverpool. So, I mean, there you go. But I think hopefully we will be just in that groove come this game. Hopefully we will just be fit and firing. Erling Haaland and De Bruyne, hopefully nothing's happened to them and anyone else. You know, I want a fully fit team. But I see it being difficult. But I'm seeing a 2-1 as well. But I'm calling a late comeback for City. Brentford are winning the game from minute 30. But City get a goal in the 70th minute. And then we get a goal in the 96th. There you go.
96. Oh God, I'd love that. We've not had a last-minute goal at the Etihad this season yet, have we? So that'd be seen 96th minute in the title race. Oh yeah, I want that. I want that finish. Although it'd be tense, it would be awful at 1-1 because all the Liverpool and Arsenal fans online will be saying, City are finished, City are finished. But it'd be all worth it in the end when we can brag it in their faces.
Yeah, they'll have their tweets ready, and then I don't know, a John Stones bullet header wins us the game. I can see it now, but we'll see. But the bottom line is, hopefully we get the 3 points, and hopefully we will be able to get the job done. Now then, moving on to our second to last game of February. Bournemouth vs Man City is away from home. Look at Bournemouth in the league, 13th. Not doing too bad, Bournemouth. They got 2 games in hand on 14th and 12th. I mean, obviously they're probably yet to play this weekend, so that's probably one of them. So, you know, if they win twice, I'd like to say they're both Chelsea and are right behind Newcastle. But obviously they have to win. Hope Media mentions Brentford win last season. It will make us react to win. They'll throw anything at us. You know what the media's like with City. But I'm pretty sure last season we beat Bournemouth 4-0 at this stadium. Or was it 4-1? It was
4-1, yeah. 4-1.
Yeah, I remember it. Hopefully, though, we can emulate a similar kind of result and hopefully get a clean sheet in there too, because that would be lovely. Another City 5-1 win, says Alec. Mate, you are full of goals today, Alec, aren't you? I mean, not like FIFA, but, you know, 5-1 here. 5-1 again. I think you said 3-1 earlier as well. Oh, I think 5-1 further up as well. Man, if you done 3-5-1s, Alec, that's wild. If you have, I might be looking at it wrong, but if you have, that is wild. But, you know, I'd take 5-1s every game. Don't think anyone would be opposed to it, but I love a clean sheet once in a while, and that's why I'm going to go for 4-0. What are you thinking for this game? MCFR?
I don't know. I have a funny feeling about this one. When you're on that unbeaten streak, you just have that odd game where there's a blip and you draw or something. Like
Yeah.
there was the odd games last season on the treble. Oops, that was my dartboard then. There was the odd game on the treble run last season where we maybe drew, or like, for example, we beat Arsenal, then we drew to Forest. And or there's always that odd game, and I see this being the odd game. I just going with my gut feeling. I'm just going with the gut feeling. I think Liverpool drop points this month as well, by the way. I think they'll drop a lot of points. I think we'll be way above them. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. I'm sorry. But just my honest gut thought. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Alec. But I have to go with my gut thought. I am sorry, but 1-1 draw. If you want me to be a bit positive, it's an 85th minute equaliser for us.
A bit positive. An equaliser in the 85th minute. That implies we were losing for most of it. Well, I mean, trust your gut, I guess, can't argue that. Gut feelings, sometimes they're the right way to go, and sometimes they're the wrong way, but I guess we'll see. Come February 24th, probably we'll realise if you were right or wrong, probably about 7:10, but, can't argue with the gut. But, yeah, on paper we should be winning, I think we can both agree on that, but in the end comes down to on the day. And Bournemouth, they're a good side. I'm going to mention Liverpool later, because obviously they're doing very good. 4 wins in the last 5, as you can see. So they're doing very well, and they'll want to keep going. I suspect Klopp leaving at the end of the season has probably spurred on some of these players a bit. They probably want to make this extra special. And, for all I care, they can have the Europa League. But I prefer if we could have everything else. But we'll see on that. But, we'll talk about Liverpool later. But City, Bournemouth, yeah, we should be winning, but we'll have to see. Now then, Luton versus Man City. Already played them this season. Ended up being a tight 2-1. I'd like to mention that was during a bad time of form. I think it was on the back of a 1-0 loss to Villa and, draw to Tottenham, draw to Chelsea, draw to Liverpool before that. So, an interesting game. Hopefully, we can progress. We should be. Because come this time of the season, we should be in good form. And hopefully we'll be able to just slide through this game. What are you thinking, MCFR, going into this?
I'm going for a big response in this game. So I'm being positive in that way. I'm going for a big response. I'm going for a 5-1 win. I think Oscar Bob to back a brace. I'm going to go for that. A 5-1 win, comfortable, easy, simple. Be one of them ones at the end, though, like 95th minute, they score their only goal and their only shot, probably. So no clean sheet, but clean sheets don't really matter in the FA Cup as long as you win. So yeah, 5-1, simple. And I know it's in March, but I can't help but talk about it a bit. I noticed the Manchester derby, the next game. I'm going for back-to-back 5-1s and us to slam Manchester United 5-1 at the Etihad. And Ten Hag will get sacked.
Interesting, very interesting. Might make a bit of content on Ten Hag later this month. He's an interesting one, as well as Man United. Sometimes I like to see what mess Man United are. I watch videos about how messy it is. To be fair to them, although I'm not too big on him. Mark Goldbridge and the United stand, they sum up the mess that their club is in very well. And so every now and then I'll just watch one of their streams whenever they're mentioned, like fucking, oh man. Well, there you go. Swear. But yeah, sometimes.
just say that sorry for interrupting, that derby game is exactly 1 year since, not exact 1 year today, but 1 year to the weekend since the last 7-0. So I'm trying to hint at something here. You never know. 1 year to the nearly 1 year to the day, 2 days off it. I think it's the 3rd of March, it says there. So you never know. Looking at Alec there saying 7-0. It's pretty much 1 year to the day. So I could see it. I could see it. I can see a world where we beat United 7-0 at the Etihad. There is a world where that happens, and let's hope that's what does happen, because that would literally make my whole year. That I wouldn't care what we did after that. That would just make my whole year. And also just saying, God, that March looks tough. United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Brighton. Jeez. But anyway, sorry.
No worries. Interesting. I didn't realise it was, I guess, the anniversary for Man United's nightmare. It's going to be interesting. I mean, who wouldn't take 7-0? I'd like history to be made. Obviously, it's not really like City to go and batter team 7-0, but I mean, we do pop up with it from time to time. 2 seasons ago, Grealish's first season, battered Leeds 7-0. Last season, we beat Leipzig 7-0. So at the moment, we're on like a once a season kind of jig. So maybe that's that. But maybe also it could be Chelsea 7-0. But by the way, I'd like to agree. Very difficult month coming up in March. Good thing is, I guess, about Arsenal is that we're at home as opposed to being at the Emirates, but still difficult nonetheless. Liverpool, of course, at Anfield. In my opinion, this is a must-win Anfield. And I know it's such a difficult stadium to win at. I don't think anyone's beaten Liverpool out of this season, which tends to be the case. But I think we need it. I think we do need it. And we'll see how it goes, I suppose.
Wasn't the last time someone won at Anfield Leeds with Jesse Marsh in November 2022? I think it was, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
It definitely was Leeds, and it definitely was Marsh. And I do believe you're right around the time. I believe it was a late winner by, was it Sinistera? Oh, I can't remember.
Was it that Somerville guy? I swear it was someone like him. I don't know.
I don't know why we're talking about it either, but it's a difficult place to win. But if Leeds can do it in a one-off game, I know Liverpool weren't great last season, but if Leeds can do it in a one-off game, hopefully we can too. But on my losing prediction, I suppose, since we kind of went away from that, but my losing prediction, I'm going to go for a simple 2-0. Early goal, like in about 20th minute, and then second goal about 70th minute. Quite far apart. I reckon it'll be quite boring this game, because I think Luton will sit right at the back and defend for as long as they can. But yeah, that's just how I see the game being. On Man United, I hope that we can get the job done, do the business, and just do what we need to do. But I guess if I'm going to do a prediction for United, I'll go big. I'll go 4-0, I suppose. 4-0 is pretty big for me. But, I mean, we'll save all that for my eventual preview for that and for the month preview. The month preview for this game will probably be that 1st of March or something. I'll have to wait and see for that, though. What if Klopp says at the end of the season, good comment for you, MCFR. I mean, Alec, I'm pretty sure Ferguson did that early 2000s. I'm pretty sure he did that, so you could see that from Klopp. I mean, weirder things have happened in football and in sport on a whole, so we'll have to see on that regard. Doubt Klopp will change his mind under pressure to go to media, says it all. I don't think he'll change his mind, personally, but I mean, I wouldn't write anything off, like I just said. Stranger things have happened in football. But it's going to be an interesting one to see how Liverpool finish this season. But that concludes the month, We've predicted for a house of no defeats at the very least. I've predicted 4 wins. You've predicted for 6 wins, 1 draw. But hopefully City can win them all. I always go optimistic. I don't think I've ever predicted a defeat for City. But going on to slightly different topic, but same stuff. Who do you think you'll be looking at come the end of the month and saying that they are the player of the month?
For me, I think it's going to be one of these 3 players. I think it will be Kevin De Bruyne or Erling Haaland because of their partnership. That's going to be insane. And usually, when that partnership is doing well, the one who gets the awards for it is usually Haaland. So, and I think Ruben Diaz is going to have a big job locking down Ivan Toney. So, if he manages to do that twice, that will be massive performances from him because I'm sure it'll be him on the job to lock him down. He'd have to knock down Nkunku, who, despite how bad Chelsea are, Nkunku is actually good. As seen against Liverpool, he was their only good player. No other really notable strikers he has to lock down, but Ivan Toney's a big one, and if he does it twice, then that should put him up there for player of the month. And you never know, he could get a goal as well. But I think it'll be Erling Haaland. I think he scores 2 against Everton, 1 against. I think he scores 2 against Copenhagen, 4 against Chelsea. I don't think he'll score against Brentford. I think he'll score the 1 goal against Bournemouth. And I don't think he'll play the FA Cup 5th round. So, it's a tricky one. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's between them 3 players.
Yeah, interesting. I think there's a very solid player suggestions. You're right, Ruben Diaz. If he does manage to lock down those 3 guys, I think he should be definitely in contention. And I think you're right about Nkunku. I rate him a lot. He, even though Leipzig lost against us in Grealish's first season at the Etihad, in the game that ended up being 6-3. That game ended up 6-3. He scored a hat trick, which is crazy. How many games can you look back on and say this player scored a hat trick but didn't win the game? So that's how you've really got to look at it, I feel. He's a great player, Nkunku. He's been unfortunate with injuries, quite clearly. Not that I'm complaining. I'd rather play with him not on the pitch than have him on the pitch. So, we'll see how that game goes and all that. But I guess if I'm looking back on it, I'm going to say I think Haaland and KDB will go up. I just think they're going to cook, hopefully, if they stay fit. I think they'll cook. And I reckon for the 3rd player that'll get nominated, you know what? I'm going to say Edison is going to have an incredible month. Just to throw that out there. He will get majority clean sheets, maybe missing out on 1 game. And will get assist. So there you go. And I guess you're pretty right though on the KDB Haaland thing. Haaland is usually the player that will get all the praise for finishing the goal, even though Kevin De Bruyne's passing is phenomenal, which I mean everyone recognises. But the goals are what win your games, I suppose. So, yeah, I think Erling Haaland will win it. But big shout to those 2 players if they do have the predicted months that we just mentioned. Edison's so underrated, says Alec. I couldn't agree more. Everyone slanders this guy, man. Who isn't a City fan? He gets slander from City fans when he deserves it, but everyone knows his shot stopping isn't where it needs to be. But it's not bad either. Sometimes he has brilliant games of shot stopping and just makes incredible stops. And some people just won't even acknowledge him. But it's a conversation for another day. I'm sure we'll do a bit of a talk on it. But there you go. That really concludes City's month. Off-topic question now. But we wanted to have a look at this game. You're doing a watch-along on it tomorrow. I'm going to do a watch-along tomorrow. Arsenal versus Liverpool. It's at the Emirates. Arsenal are, what, like third in the league, just behind City. What are you thinking?
So, what I want and what I think is actually very different. Just looking at the win probability, what the hell is that? They're going for Arsenal for a more win probability than Liverpool? Oh my God. So, what do I want? I want, I kind of want to draw, but if we're looking at the table, I want an Arsenal win more, but the Arsenal fans are just unbearable, you know? I want to draw, but what do I think it will be? I think it will be a Liverpool easy win for them. I think Arsenal are overrated. I watched their last 2 games. In fact, I've pretty much watched every Arsenal game this season. The last 2 games, they've been poor. 5-0 against Palace. Palace, that game, I know you did a watch along. It was probably one of the worst teams I've ever seen go to the Emirates. Palace were awful. They didn't do anything all game, and they couldn't defend either. So they literally did nothing. They didn't even sit back. I don't know what their game plan was. Forest too, they were awful, and somehow they managed to make that game tough, which isn't a good sign coming in against a team like Liverpool. Sorry, trying to get my words out there. I think Liverpool win this game 3-1, and I think Arsenal out the title race after that, and I think Arteta out. We'll be ringing again because you know what these Arsenal fans are like, and we'll get an iconic Lee Gunner reaction as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of expected hair flicks from Martin Odegaard too. But yeah, I think Liverpool will win this game comfortably. But what do I want? I want a draw. I want a good game though as well. I don't want a boring 0-0 because then it'd be a waste of a watch along.
It's interesting. It really depends on how you look at these teams and what you see as a threat to the league. Because obviously, I said it at the beginning of the season. I think this is going to be between City and Liverpool because I predicted Liverpool would be back. I don't think anyone thought Liverpool would be gone forever. And lo and behold, they weren't, and they're way back in the mix. A draw is probably ideal, but I would like to throw it out there. How much of a threat do you see Arsenal to the title?
It's a tricky one, this question. I think up until March, they'll be in and around, but then, like always, they don't have the mentality. They don't manage games well, and it's not changing. I mean, they always bottle something every season. 2022, they bottled the top 4. 2023, they bottled the Premier League. And there's a trend. Once you bottle once, if they've learnt from the mistakes, they wouldn't have bottled the league last year because they've already bottled something the year before. And I just see them bottling it again. This time I see them not as big as a capitulation because I don't think they'll be anywhere near Liverpool or City, to be honest. So I see Liverpool as the much bigger threats. But Arsenal, if given luck and stuff, you know, they do get luck a lot. They could be in and around it, to be honest. But I think our biggest threat is 100% Liverpool. And by the way, if it wasn't for VAR, this is insane. Liverpool would be invincible so far. Because VAR were the ones that cost them that Spurs game. They probably would have won that if not for VAR. So they'd be invincible so far. That'd be crazy, that.
It is crazy to think, and Arsenal fans are probably having a party over it because you know they're invincible. They treat it like it's their Champions League trophy, but it isn't, sadly. Actually, no, not sadly. I'm glad they don't have a Champions League trophy, and they can keep their invincibles. To be honest, I'd rather be Centurions. But enough of that. Do I think Arsenal are a threat this season? I'll answer my own question, I suppose. No, I think. Look at it like this. I don't know if City will. I don't know if Liverpool will. But say City and Liverpool finished on 90 plus points this season. I think Arsenal are a team that would finish 70 plus points, maybe 80 plus. Doing very good, but just not quite hitting the mark. That's how I look at Arsenal. I think they need a striker, and I don't think without one they'll be able to do the business. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating them, but that's just how I kind of look at them. Without a striker, you need in the league, you need good players that can play in every position. As much as having players that will get you goals all over the pitch, as much as that's good, you need a top quality striker. Liverpool, look at it like them, yeah. They thought they were getting that with Darwin Núñez, okay? They thought they were really getting something incredible with Darwin Núñez. But this season, did you watch the Chelsea game? He hit the woodwork 4 times, which was a record in the Premier League history. It's crazy. Darwin Núñez doesn't seem to be able to find the back of the net. If he can finish, then Liverpool have got exactly what they paid 80 million for. But if he can't, then Liverpool will eventually probably have to go back in the market for someone. So that's how I kind of look at it. But if Erling Haaland has shooting boots on, then you'll see the threat that City have shown last season and this season, and hopefully future seasons to come, show the threat that they are to all teams in the Premier League. But we will have to see on that regard. It's going to be crazy. But my prediction for this game, you see, I'm conflicted. I'm torn because I acknowledge how good Liverpool are at the moment, and I acknowledge that this is at the Emirates as well. I'm predicting 3-2 either way. I'm gonna be a bit naughty and say it's gonna be to one of them, but I just can't put my finger on who. 3-2 to one of them. I don't see it being a draw because I see both teams going for it. Last 10 minutes, if either team is drawing, and if both teams are drawing, Arsenal will 100% go for it. The crowd should get up for it. They should get up for it. Arsenal fans are known for leaving stadium relatively early. I remember last season when they were losing to Brighton. The game was 2-0. The game was, Arsenal was shocking. But it was back end of the game, like less than 10 minutes to go. And I don't know if it was in the 80th minute, but it could have been 89th. A lot of seats were empty. And I don't think that means that they were going to get food. I think that means that they were left. So
can I just say, this season too against West Ham, 70th minute, they were 2-0 down. Arsenal fans have seen their team come back from 2-0 down before, and I'm seeing it half empty. Like, they are so unloyal. I can see Liverpool being 1-0 up in the 70th minute, and I bet you anything them seats will be emptying like mad. Just saying.
It is shocking, I often watch City. In fact, I didn't get to watch them last season at the Etihad. I'm not too fussed about that, but because I still got to watch them incredible games like Bayern and Real Madrid. But I mean, if I did get the honour and pleasure of going to watch my football team play football, especially if you're in the lower what they called the lower rows in the stadium. I'm not too sure on the names, but if you're closer to the pitch, what I'm saying, I would want to stay. You paid a lot of money to get that seat. I'm pretty sure the more expensive seats are the lower down ones. You paid a lot of money to go watch your team, and I understand if you're a season ticket holder, you get the whole season for free. But if you have paid because this is one of the biggest games in the season, which in reality it is, you should be sticking around. You want to get your money's worth, surely. I know if Arsenal are losing 4-0, it becomes difficult to want to keep cheering, but you still got to prove that you're there. Still show your team that you're still supporting them, essentially. So it's a weird one, but it's going to be such a big game, and I can't wait to do a watch along on it. So big up to you, MCFR. I want to thank you a lot for tuning in. Not tuning in, being in the stream and actually making it with me, not just tuning in. Obviously, it's been great to have on as per. Thank you to everyone who tuned in the chat. Yusuf, Alec, and if anyone else just tuned in and just watched and didn't say anything. But thank you, everyone, to who tuned in. Yusuf Gamers asked the question, MCFR, and I'm going to let you answer it. Who's going to win the league?
City. It's going to be Man City. Easy. It's definitely going to be Man City. If Man City don't win the league, I'll do a full 2 Sundays in a row of NBA streams. That's how confident I am.
You're not catch me doing
Thank
that.
God the NBA people aren't there, because I can go back on my word, because I don't see the NBA people in the chat right now, but maybe they'll watch it back on replay. But can I just say, once the stream ends, I will unfortunately have to leave the studio straight away because I've got to do something. But yeah, thanks for having me on so much. So yeah, I bet if City don't win the league, that I will make myself do 2 NBA streams. I don't have a clue about NBA, but for you guys, because I know for some weird reason you want it, I'll do some research on it. Thank you again.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming on, of course. Thank you, again, for tuning in, of course. Obviously, back tomorrow, I'll let you know a bit of my content, and then MCFR, I'll let you do a bit of yours. But back tomorrow with Watch Along, of course. Monday will be obviously Brentford Watch Along, and that will come with a match preview. MCFR, of course, you're live in an hour. But what else have you got coming on?
So yeah, live in an hour. Brentford preview. Going to be good. So if you can check that out, even if you don't tune in, you just leave a pre-like. That would be much appreciated. Tomorrow, Arsenal v Liverpool watch along. I might be doing a Brentford v City watch along. I know I don't do many City watch alongs, so I do need to do one soon. I think I could do one on Monday, perhaps even a guest from my family on that as well. We never know. Tuesday there'll be a Brentford review unless anything pops up. And there's no midweek game, is there? So there might be a bit of a break midweek. Probably there'll be a stupid Mark Goldbridge video. I'll react to that as something. But yeah, make sure to sub to MCFC Connect. Great content on here every day. The consistency is insane. Like my consistency is pretty bad, but MCFC Connect's consistency is literally insane. So sub to him. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, was a great stream.
Yeah, and once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you haven't already, go and follow the legend who came on with me today. Go subscribe to him, follow him on Instagram, and find him on it. Well, find his YouTube accounts on any other social medias. Big up to everyone who tuned in, and I'll see you on Watch On tomorrow, which will be scheduled for 4 p.m. So be there or be square.